This week on Trees in Space, Jason and I watched the 2004 rated R comedy Euro Trip. I'm your host for this episode, Nate Hanks, and with me, as always, is the most handsome man on the internet, Jason Smith. And boy, can I not wait to get into this movie. Jason, we danced around it earlier today, and now we finally get to talk about this.
Yeah, we talked for a while because I was on the road, and after me and Nate watch a movie, we try not to talk at all until we get to review it together because we have a tendency to talk. So we did very good not talking about it.
We definitely did. And the reason for this pick this week is to pay homage, memoriam for Michelle Trachtenberg, who has recently passed away. Um, and it's kind of heartbreaking because she was 39 and I'm 39 and I grew up with this movie. This movie came out when I graduated high school.
Yeah, I have and talking about Michelle. My daughter knew who she was because of Gossip Girl.
Mhm.
I didn't know she was a Gossip Girl. She's known because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Yep.
and 17 again. I mean, she has made a mark in like the last two generations, anyhow. But I have so many questions about this movie to ask you because I was not a graduate at that age at 2004. So why don't you tell our listeners what this movie is about?
What's it about?
Well, dumped over by his girlfriend, a high school grad, Scott Thomas, decides to embark on an overseas adventure in Europe with his friends. Now, that's a very broad stroke of this movie because not only is he going to visit Europe with his friends, he's going there for a girl. And he, uh, by mistake, blocked her or whatever and sent her a really nasty email because he thought
Mhm.
she was a he. And wow, when he figured it out, the heart wants what the heart wants, my friend.
I guess I wish I could just jump on a plane and go to Europe at a moment's notice. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I
Oh,
got a really cheap flight, I suppose.
and keep your job and get a raise and a bonus?
That was probably the most unrealistic part of this whole movie. I mean, that
The
was.
Humphrey. Did you not get it?
Hello, Mr. Walters. I see. Fired? Well, if that's what you want, I understand. I just... Goodbye, sir.
That to catch you eventually, right?
No, they fired Humphrey.
Shut up.
Yeah, I got his office and a raise.
No.
Yeah.
Now, I was having this discussion with my daughter, and she does not know this movie, nor why would she? She was 4 when it came out. But
Mm-hmm.
she does know, and she's not sure why she knows. And I explained to her that she knows because it is the greatest song written for a movie of all time.
Oh yeah, sung by the greatest musician actor ever, Matt Damon.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still, she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Oh, Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know.
And I was like, Johnny doesn't know. No, she goes, oh, is that in that movie? I said, yeah. Was that where it's from? I said, yes. She said, I go, there are songs that are written for soundtracks, Eye of the Tiger, part of like the soundtrack of the movie. This song was written as a fake song for the movie, and it is bigger than the movie.
Oh yeah, it's massive. It's just catchy. Because like as soon
Mhm.
as he started singing, I was singing it word for word. Like
Yes.
uh this movie for me hit all of the nostalgia notes because
Hmm.
again, I was 18 when this movie came out, and this movie provides all the stumps.
All this stuff.
Every every stump in the galaxy because every 15 minutes there's nudity.
Something about that. It's very 80ish as far 1980s type comedy as far as nudity, raunchiness and stuff, but with more, I would say, updated humor, better humor. Um, that's hard for me to say because I love my 80 raunchy comedies. But he, back to Johnny Doesn't Know. Fiona was
Yes.
the girlfriend. Now, this is Scotty's graduation. Fiona is not graduating because Fiona is a junior,
Yes.
1 year behind. And when she jumps on stage, which is one of the best parts, as she blows past Scotty to get on the stage, like, oh my God, that's so. He goes, happy anniversary. Is he saying 1 year anniversary or 1 month? Because we don't know. I'm going 1 year, which means
Year.
she would have been a
Sophomore.
sophomore.
Do you
And
think
I'm
that
like,
maybe he was a senior?
I'm thinking
I
she was 15. And
oh
I
my
never
god.
noticed that till I became a
I
parent.
completely overlooked it. Oh my god, that's so inappropriate.
Hmm.
How did that get through? I
And
mean,
she's 17 now during that song, dancing like that. I'm thinking she's 17.
she's probably
Um,
18 in
well,
real
she no,
life.
she's a junior. She might be 18, but
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, in reality, she's probably 18. But
oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm just saying, but story wise. But just so y'all know, you don't know this, but one of the things that Nate loves saying, he says it a lot, and I know I've heard it from somewhere, and I knew it came from somewhere. And he says it,
yeah,
and it's perfect. Go ahead, Nate, and it's a catchphrase in this movie.
uh, this isn't where I parked my car.
Oh, this isn't where I parked my car. This isn't where I parked my car. Hey, this isn't where I parked my car. This is definitely where I parked my car.
And
And it's
essentially, and I'm going to explain the saying, but if something is kind of awkward, you can just be like, "Oh, this isn't where I parked my car," and it just kind of
yeah,
like
like
breaks it up a little bit. Like,
you don't want to be in that situation. Like you show up, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be here.
right?
No, I'm only here because I was looking for my car, not because
Yeah,
I'm a part of any of this. And then, of course, he's like
you got a
in the
little
middle of the
something under
movie.
your chest, right here. You got a
Mhm.
little.
Yeah, and then he goes to Amsterdam on the skip, and he's like, "Oh, this is why I parked my car."
Uh,
So,
what did
as
you
a
think of the football hooligans?
Oi! Get bloody out of you. This is a private members bar. Exclusively for the supporters of the greatest football team in the world. Manchester United. Now please, enlighten me. Who the fuck are you?
I love the football hooligans. I thought they were great in the Manchester United. Great in the song. My baby takes the morning train to find me waiting. I'm like, I love that song by Sheena
It's a
Easton.
great song, but did you know that that is not the Manchester United song?
Oh, I'm sure it's not. I bet it is now. I
It's
bet they
actually,
play it at.
I googled it. It's "Glory, Glory," which is their
Oh,
football chant. But they should play it now. Like,
yes, because of that movie. But as an 18-year-old in 2002, 2004,
or yep,
wa- was your New Year, was your graduation parties anything like that? I
no,
mean,
no. But I had been to a party that was like that prior to graduation.
okay, okay. And did you have women just as stupid as that one girl in the hot tub? Where at?
Uh, not that I could recall.
'Cause that's just, oh, I don't. So, anyways, let's get to Germany. And Nate was really happy when he watched the 4:30 movie because he's talking about places that he's been a lot.
Yes.
I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, I can now say stuff because I've been to those places, and I can say for certain, the one place I actually was standing that's actually in this movie was when we went to Paris, and they were driving with the hooligans in the bus, and the things behind them, the Eiffel Tower's behind them, and there's a green awning. That's a little restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant. I was in that Italian restaurant. I know that it was the same one. But the rest of it, I've been to those places, but I haven't been to those things. And Slavia, I'm not sure what happened since 2004. It's so much nicer. Still is cheap. Still is cheap,
Yeah.
but so much nicer.
I chuckled so very hard at the robot fight. And what was the most beautiful part of it was they had that girl with the red balloon walking through to show the perspective of their time versus actual time. I thought that was one of the most beautifully shot scenes in cinema history. Like it was so well thought out. Like
I am so glad you mentioned that because I remember seeing that. I'm like, I like how they got the girl walking in the front. Like that just I did not realize that's why they did it, but
yeah,
my brain knew that was cool for some reason. I'm not sure why. You explained why. It makes sense. I did not know that's why they did that. But I was like, why would they have a little girl walk in front? I go, that's pretty cool though.
um,
And I love the relationship between the twins. Worst twins ever. They are the worst twins ever.
oh my god,
And Absence.
I was about to
It's
say the absence with the green fairy. That was
I've had
fabricated
it. It's
from this movie. This movie created that myth.
really
I believe so. Yes, I'm gonna
that
have to
is great.
fact check it, but yeah.
But I've had it. I've had. Of course, it's not illegal in America no more. But
Right.
I've had it, and it just tastes very tart and very kills all your taste buds. But I didn't get drunk on it because that shit's powerful. But those twins, Michelle, how do you
Yeah.
pronounce her last name?
Trachtenberg.
Trachtenberg. I never thought she was that sexy when I
Oh my
watched it the
god.
first time, but this time I thought she was very sexy, especially like when she tried to be at the very end when she's in the train. I mean, the plane flying home, and she
Yep.
steps over the dude. I'm like, oh my god. I
I
was like,
have always found her to be absolutely stunning.
yeah,
And she's always been like, I forget how beautiful she was or is
she is very beautiful. She is beautiful. I always thought that.
until I see her again. Like she's very
Mhm.
forgettable, which is sad to say. Like
Right,
she's my one of my most favorite actresses. Like,
and her eyes are so gorgeous.
um, but she had a great part where she's like, I didn't even get to have any weird European sex. And
Yeah.
Cooper was like, hey,
I mean, I think each one had like good parts that made it funny. Like no
how?
one person was more funny than the next, But
What about Jamie getting mugged?
Okay, mister, don't move.
Excuse me?
Shut the hell up.
Oh, brother, please don't hurt me. Oh, no, you're fine. It's good. You're fine.
Give me cash. You got cash? Give me cash.
Oh, take it all, you dirty girl.
What? Your wallet. Focus. Give it to me.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you.
that, that was so
Love you.
yeah,
I
but it
love
was so
you.
awkward. They know they had to film it a certain way so it makes sense to the scene.
Yep.
So I was like, oh god, they could have done it something better. And of course, the guy that was mugging him was the neighbor from Office Space, but we know this.
And he's from Drew
Uh,
Carey's show.
he is. I can't remember his name, but she's like, "Take it all, you dirty whore." And that is- I like that part. Oh, I think my favorite little cameo person was the dude on the train.
Do you know the actor's name?
No, but I've seen him so many things after that.
It's
So many things.
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen, yes,
I was watching it. I was like, "Is that Fred Armisen?"
yes.
Uh,
Miscusi.
excuse
Mis-
Uh, I actually looked it up on IMDb. Can you
Yeah.
guess what his uh title card name is?
What do you mean title card name?
Like Jacob Pitts is Cooper, Scott Melowitz is Scott. So
Oh, like would he be like man on the train?
yeah,
Yeah. I think his title card name would be Miscusi.
creepy Italian guy.
Because he was like, oh wait, big train. I mean, big tunnel.
And
At
you see
the
that
end.
like real devilish look, like they pan perfect red lighting on him, like and when they play hot stuff,
Yes, that's the baby. And then they leave. They come out the tunnel, and all of them are on the same side, smushed up together. And he's sitting there having a cigarette with his pants off, and I'm like, but for the people that need to know that we're watching this right now, he Scotty goes to find Mike, and we're talking about all the trips they go through the different countries to get to Berlin, because he can't just go straight to Berlin for all. It's a trip
yeah.
movie, and it
So
happens.
they get a courier flight from Ohio to Europe, England, and that's where they meet the hooligans.
England, right?
And from there, they go
To
to
Paris.
Paris, meet up with the twins,
Hmm.
and then
And then they just kind of went all the way around. And the whole point is him trying to get to Berlin,
Mhm.
and that all this stuff happens. They go to Amsterdam to a nude beach, which
It's full of wieners.
the movie had no problem showing them all
I'm pretty sure they're
multiple times,
too. So it was definitely shot in Europe.
multiple times, long periods of times,
Yep.
and me going, feeling kind of ashamed, like and then like, oh, I'm good. Oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
well, I'm good.
We're the ones
Like,
with the bellies. Let me see the size of those
yeah,
ones.
yeah, I'm in between all that. I'm good.
And then they go, they look at the Frommer's manual and they're like, oh yeah, all the adventurers go to the Fisher's Wharf Monument
mhm,
wherever. And it pans to all the girls just rubbing on each other, like topless.
exactly. And of course, you know the local people would know that, but uh, and then of course more of that stuff ensues. They finally get to see her, but she's gone. She went to Paris.
They
No, she went to Rome.
Rome, I was gonna say, then they go to the Vatican. So they finally get to Germany, and her kid
Oh,
brother is creepy.
yes.
Is all I'll get out of. But her dad's pretty.
I ain't doing it. I'm not doing the.
Are you raising your hand because you have a question?
No, I'm the little kid was
Oh yeah.
he was
Straight stereotyping.
yes. That
I
was,
I
but
want to
that was in, yeah, Berlin. Yeah.
yeah. I want to say this before I forget. But every time they went to a different country, they had this really cool cutscene where it had like, uh, you know, the
The stuff
Clash
that the
maybe,
country's
or
famous for.
yeah, like, and they had like the music that was appropriate for it.
Hmm.
Like it was just
A
so
collage.
yeah, I loved it, and I want to make sure that that gets its due for
It
sure.
was really good.
Uh,
And before we get to that part, I know we're getting to the end. I'm trying to go to the movies. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we can't forget about Braslava and the twins. I
oh,
mean,
how they end up making out?
and these two actresses, this actor and this actress. I mean, I know they're acting, but those mouths were
Yeah.
and tongues were.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
they
because they
were.
had to make it. And
They,
Michelle could have done that to me. I've been okay with it. And the two people were like, they truly are the worst twins ever. I just had to bring that up because that was like, ew.
um,
Please continue. We were back in Rome.
I do. Oh, actually, I'm going to talk about this. I was going through the reviews trying to find my 5-star reviews, right? And in passing, someone mentioned a cult classic. Would you say that this movie could be considered a cult classic or not?
No. Um,
Do you think it's because it's still only 21
yeah.
years old?
Yeah. I mean, I think because we talked about Porky's the other day.
Yep.
Is Porky's a cult classic or just a classic,
But
you
when
know?
did it become a cult classic?
Well, see, I don't know if it even is. See,
I would say
does, does it fit the category of cult? Because cult's like um a following of so many like people, like they know it, they follow it, they know everything about it. Animal House would be a cult classic, but I don't know if I guess the definition of cult classic. So I don't think that it would fit. Um,
Oh.
I don't think it fits, but I think it could
You-
be.
I think
I think it's too new.
you at home, if you have a thought, go ahead and just that help us settle the discussion. Is this movie considered a cult classic? And by this movie, I mean Euro Trip. So that way we can use this on Snapchat or whatever, TikTok, it's YouTube Shorts. Look at you guys. Well, I think we have talked enough about this movie. I think it's time to hear about what those at home, the reviewers, see what they think. Here is a 5-star, 1-star, or less reviews. The first 5-star review comes from Eric G. How am I barely discovering this movie? Easily becomes one of my favorite comedies of all time. Couldn't stop laughing, and the Matt Damon cameo is an all-timer.
Eric G, I agree with you 1,000%. It's one of the best cameos, and that set the tone of the whole movie. The embarrassment in Scotty's face, just taking it like
And
halfway through it though, he's okay with it because they start singing it together on the train. But
then he owns it.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's actually playing at the club in Baklava or whatever it's called,
Baslava.
Baklava. Yeah. So I agree with you, Eric. The first 1-star review comes from James W. Weak all round. Might be funny if you're a couple of 12-year-old lads, but as an adult, this has been a waste of time. Jokes are obvious and predictable.
Yeah, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I guess I'm 12.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I said it earlier today that I'm a man child, and I stand by my decision of those words. The next 5-star review comes from Michael J. One of the best, mi scusi, the best comedy of all times. I can watch this over and over again and laugh my ass $ off every time. They don't make movies like this anymore. Just don't tell Scotty.
Don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty
I
doesn't
gotta get that on my playlist because it's not on the playlist.
put it. As
Michael J. Once again, what?
You can put it as your ringtone. It could be for me.
No. Yeah, I love it. Do people do that anymore? Do ringtones? But yes, I agree with this guy. They don't make movies like this anymore. They'd be canceled pretty much. I think the last 10 years have ruined a lot of these type of raunchy movies. They just can't release them.
Yeah.
Unless it's gonna be like B movie Netflix or Tubi or something,
Yeah, maybe.
and they won't be nearly as high quality. The next 1-star review comes from Johan M. What could be the most offensive comedy film ever made? Well, this one is definitely one of the top 10. A high school graduate decides to embark on an overseas adventure in Europe with his friends to look for his beloved pen pal. Plenty of European cliches, predictable AF, and nonsense all over the place. Yes, a lot of cliches.
And I think it kept itself really on pace. Like like yes, it was all over the place, but it was chronologically.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, I was watching closely, like when they started doing the map on the table.
Yeah.
It's like, is it there? Oh, it is there. Okay, okay, they're good. They're good. They're good. They skipped that one place that one guy wanted to go to, but it was really easy to get there. But they skipped it. Oh, and by the way, for those who haven't been to Amsterdam and the red light district, it's not that wide of roads. No, it's very narrow. It's narrow. But just so you know,
That's how
obviously
it is
didn't
in
film that there.
That's how it kind of is in Korea too. They're like alleyways, but they're lit up just like that.
Yes, they're lit up like nice. A lot of people are on it, but you're not driving down the road. You're not driving down it.
No, definitely not. The last 5-star comes from an unknown. This is my favorite comedy of all time. It's raunchy and fun and relentlessly hilarious. I cannot fathom how anyone couldn't find this funny unless they just take themselves too seriously. I didn't even like the nudity, but Damon gave the world's best cameo, and it only got better from there. The soccer hooligans, Bratislava, the Vatican, worst twins ever. Armistead on the Train, Vandersex, The Nickel, awesome.
Okay, dude. I don't know why this guy's unknown. He needs to put his name on that because we could have just read that at the beginning of this here, and that's the movie.
Yeah,
He's 100% right. I forgot about the nickel.
yep, me too.
I opened my own hotel.
Come, I bring you now.
That's,
Where's the beef?
oh, yeah, it was good. This guy's right. It's all I mean, he hit most of the stuff. That was excellent. Oh my god. The last one-star review comes from Ashley H. Eurotrip is a disappointing film. It is about a high school grad who decides to embark on an overseas adventure in Europe with his friends. That's exactly what was said before.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Mikolitsk and Jacob Pitts give terrible performances. The script is badly written. Jeff Schaefer did a horrible job directing this movie. I was not impressed with this motion picture.
Hey, fuck you.
Hey, fuck you!
This was great.
Oh,
The WTF comes from an unknown. It's 5 stars and came out on February 8th of 2019. Possibly the best teen comedy that will ever be made ever. Now, you may be looking at like, why is this a WTF? Best teen comedy. This movie's rated R. What teenager is going to this rated R movie? This is young adult. And then it really made me kind of fathom, who was this movie made for?
made for high schoolers.
But it's totally
About to graduate.
inappropriate for high schoolers. But like,
For seniors of high school.
but yes, for seniors. But like, you're only targeting 18 and 19-year-olds. Like,
Oh, you know these type of movies are definitely made for 14, 15-year-old boys like your son. They're going to go watch them somehow. That's who it's for, absolutely. But they can't say that. But they obviously did because the girlfriend, Fiona, was 15, schlocking dogs.
you heard us ramble about the movie. We heard from you at home. Now it's time to find out what Rotten Tomatoes and the audience scored this movie. Rotten Tomatoes scored this movie at 46%, while the audience, that's you at home, you guys scored this movie at 75%. Now, I bring back cult classic. Is it a cult classic film or a cult film where it's over 75%? Like, can we put an
A
audience
number on there like that?
Yeah, is that seem like if it's over 60%, 70%, 80%? Like,
I guess for me, I guess when classic, I never think of like mainstream comedies or mainstream anything. For me, cult classic is a kind of obscured, but then became relevant later. I think it's wrong. No, like a Clockwork Orange is a cult classic, but it wasn't that popular then, and it was kind of like small, and then it got bigger and bigger.
kind of like Mallrats.
Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap was not really big when it came out.
Mallrats.
It wasn't right. So this was like in a lot of theaters.
Sure.
That's where I get cult classic. But 2025, I don't think that's standard anymore because movies come in all sorts of streaming services.
True.
So I will give it cult classic.
Fair. I'm still out on my jury's still out. I don't know. But I do know it's time for us to rate these movies, or this movie. So let's go ahead and get into that. I will kick us off. I would absolutely recommend this movie to my surgeon. I love this movie. It's one of my ultimate favorite movies that I forget that I like. I always think about it. I quote it often, and it's just I forget about it, and it's unfortunate because it's got Michelle Trachtenberg, who I had loved, and I enjoyed every person in this movie. It gets all of the stumps because of male nudity and woman nudity and the banging in the Vatican. Like, come on now.
And
Uh, so, and it ends on a happy note. With all of that, I actually will give this movie 4 trees and a stump.
Now it's my turn.
you mentioned the Vatican, and I remember this scene at the end where the credits are going up. Her butt or someone's butt is upside down in the prayer thing. Hit boom. I'm like, is that the actual actress? Is that someone else? How they holding up there? But anyhow, I would recommend this to my surgeon. I thought it was funny. I thought it was extremely inappropriate, but not so inappropriate that it needs to be canceled or anything. I thought that the pacing was great. I thought the time was length. I thought the acting was adequate. There was nothing wonderful about it, but there was nothing bad about it. Nothing, and that's hard for a movie to do. Have nothing negative.
True.
Michelle's in it. And she's looking sexy. She's looking good. She's funny. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of goofball fun, and can't believe this, but with the stumps, I never thought I'd have a comedy so high in my life, but I'm gonna give it 4 trees.
Wow, I love it. So happy to hear it. What do you all think about this movie? Go ahead and drop some trees and stumps down in the comments. Like it, share it with your friends. I've been Nate, that's been Jason. Until next Monday, we'll see you on Trees in Space.
What?